Hey traders, John Howell here. We're going to be looking at the markets right now, having a dig deep into the markets to see what's going on, what we could expect moving forward, and just also going to be teaching you some patterns that I personally like to trade when trading the markets. So let's go straight into it. Don't place a trade based on what you'll see in this video because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Alrighty traders, make sure you grab that free trading course, that trading course on screen right now. Make sure you get free access to that. First link in the description there. Now, let's have a look at the actual stock market itself. So the thing about the overall stock market itself right now and what's happening is that this is pretty much the exact same thing that happened with gold in the last sort of couple of months. Now, let me explain something here. I think a lot of people right now, especially looking at like this is the actual cash chart, the actual index, and then this is the S&P 500 cash chart, and then if I go to the S&P 500 futures chart, you'll be able to see obviously there's no gaps because it's traded pretty much 24/5, is it? Is it 5? Yeah, 24/5. I think pretty sure it only has a 15-minute break after the close, and then it reopens again as well too. So there's not much of that point from there. So looking at that when it comes to that there. So the big thing that we actually can see here is, and the big thing that we see what's happening with the S&P is that we've had an extraordinary quality rally. Now, one thing that's important to understand, and everything in the markets, right, is about probabilities in our favor. And there's a really big thing about trading, right? I think sometimes we're looking for that certainty, right? So that's the reason why we pile the indicators up to see, we're trying to get some sort of certainty with that. Now, I'm not sure about you, but if you do use a lot of indicators, and by the way, I used to use a lot of indicators, right? My charts used to look really bad. Like they used to have so many different indicators. And the thing is that if you think about it here from a sort of a common sense point of view, right, is that, yeah, there's a lot of indicators that we can use, but I'm pretty sure if you use a lot of indicators, you're just confused, right? Like, okay, well, the MACD is going down. We're getting a divergence on the stochastics. The RSI is getting close to overbought. What? The Bollinger Bands are pointing in. That's what that means. And then the nine moving average, or the 3 moving average is above the 9 moving average, which is above the 20 moving average, which is below the 50 moving average. You're like, what? All right, and I think there's a lot of the things when it comes down to the markets, right? It's all about probability. And if we could just simplify the process in that trading course, guys, I teach you my trading system, but if we simplify the process to our trading, right, what's going to give us the best chances of actually doing really well? And no matter what market we're trading, it's important, right, that we actually come back to of how markets work and how they fluctuate, right? So if we know that if the market in a bull market, right, we have what? We generally have, no, we don't generally, we do have higher lows. Higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. And we make these higher lows, right? Right? Higher lows. So for a chart reading and also trading perspective, if the market's making higher lows, it's in an upward trend. No dirt, John. Okay, cool. Now, one thing we also do know is that the market will eventually start to make higher lows in a bull market. Therefore, from a market update perspective of where we're at right now, we can see this here, a big bull move. So therefore what? We're probably likely to have a bit of a pullback, right, soon, because we're going to make a higher low, and then we're going to make a higher low, and then away we go again, right? That's probably what's going to happen. So so therefore, from a chart reading perspective, and from a perspective this one here, you can see we're actually right at this level of resistance as well too. So we may get one last little push to the upside, a little bit of fake out, and then a bit of a pullback from here. So we're expecting some form of a pullback because we're expecting what? We're expecting, if this is going to be a strong bull market into December, into January, into February, if this is going to be what? If this is going to be a strong bull market, then we're going to create a higher low, right? We just know that. It's not just, a bull market is not just straight up. If we understand that process, then we can understand of what's likely to come, right? So when the market does start to pull back, just like gold did recently, we're like, oh, okay, well, I was expecting this to happen, right? Because you're just expecting it to happen. So that's what I'm seeing through there. And so from a high-low perspective, so from a trading perspective, right? If we know that the market's making higher lows, the best time to be looking for a trade is what? Is not short here or short here or short here or short here, right? What is it? It's long here, long here, long here, and long here, right? We're trying to look for long opportunities going with the market. And that's probably one of the best things out there, right? It's just like, then just try to look for opportunities that just goes with the markets. Because for me personally, if I want to have a loss, I want to have a small loss. And then if it is going to be a successful trade, then I want to have a really good opportunity of capturing a good move out of that one. Make sense? Because it's all about probabilities. And that's one thing is like, there's no matter what system you trade, there's no certainties on any given one trade out there, right? And the hard thing about what I just said there, right, is just that's the reason why most people who trade the markets don't make money at all. I was one of those people, right? Is because there is no foundation to what they're actually doing with the markets here, meaning there's no foundations to what they're actually looking for in the market. So we can see that that's what's happening there from the S&P 500 perspective. It's a big, strong move up. So we're expecting some form of a pullback. So when it does happen, don't be too surprised. It's probably just going to happen just to have a big pullback. This is the actual cash chart itself. We had a very strong move up. And we're probably going to get a bit of a pullback soon, right? Just to create that high low. And then if we do create the high low, then we're probably likely to see a very strong move to the upside from here, right? Nasdaq, same sort of thing. Very strong move. Look at these massive gaps through here. Just, whoo, right? The market has just completely taken off like a rocket. And it's actually hit that level of resistance right there. So we may actually get one last little push here. Where is that hourly chart? Hourly chart, 15-minute chart. Okay, so this is the 15-minute cash chart. What's the futures look like? Let's go have a look at the futures. Okay, so the futures are there at the same time as well too. So this is the future chart. This is the future chart right here. The reason why I'm looking at this here, because I also trade intraday charts. I trade the daily charts a lot, meaning I'm looking to get in on today, and I'm looking to hold it for a couple of days, sometimes up to 3-4 weeks, right? It just depends on the type of trade. But looking at this level here, looking where we are right now, we can see we're very, so we're expecting a bit of a pullback here, right? So if we're expecting a bit of a pullback, if we get something like this in the markets, what does that mean? Well, that's probably going to be a false breakout. Why? Because the market never just goes straight up like it does here. It's not just going to keep going up and up and up and up and just keep doing that, right? We know eventually what? We're going to get something like that. So if we know that, then this would actually be probably a shorter term type of a play. So if I go down to now my 5-minute charts, I can see this is my 5-minute charts through here, possibly even my 15-minute charts. And if I started to get some sort of a breakout above here, I would know that one, if we do get a good breakup above here, it's probably going to be very short-lived, and we're probably going to get something like this, right? And then we're probably going to reverse it. You're going to go, oh my goodness, how come it reversed, right? It reversed because this is the futures here, but if we go look at the cash, what's the cash doing? Cash is right there, right? And this is the cash right here as well too. So again, if we have a look at this level through here, that'll be that level through there. So that's the 5-minute chart. The reason I'm looking at this level here, guys, if I go down to my 2-minute charts now and squeeze my 2-minute charts up, guess what? If we do start to get a break up above here once again, if we get the level here, that to me is probably going to be a good short-term trade. Short-term trade because it's a 2-minute chart, right? We're probably likely to get something like that, and then bam, bam, and then guess what? And then we're probably likely to reverse and come straight back down as well too, right? So this is what guys like when trading the markets, right? It's all about just pattern recognition. One of the patterns that I actually personally love to trade on an intraday basis is this setup that I'm teaching you right now, right? What is that? That is when you know, if you look at the longer term time frame, even on an hourly chart, right? And you look at that, and you know we've just been going up, little pullback. You know we're getting towards the end of some sort of a move, right? Like up here, look at this here. Up, little pullback. Up, little pullback, up. And then guess what happened? Then we started to get what? A bit of a downtrend. So if we know, remember this is an hourly chart up here, right? An hourly chart. If we know the overall big picture, because again, if you're an intraday trader, meaning you trade the 5-minute charts, the 2-minute charts, the 1-minute charts, I love trading those time frames, especially when you get this sort of setup. Why? Because this move here, if you're risking say 1% on your account, right? then you can, or whatever, right? Say 1% of your account. You can generally pick up a good, say, 2 to 3 to 4%. Sometimes trading a 1 minute chart all through here, right? Because we know that this is going to be a false breakout. So this is big picture stuff, right? There's more like advanced sort of stuff here that I'm teaching you here. But this is big picture stuff. This is one of my most favorite patterns that I like to trade because because if we know we're getting towards it's all about when you're trading the markets. I'm always looking at the big picture and the small picture, the big picture and the small picture, because this is where a lot of traders can get unstuck with looking at the markets. And for me, traders, for a long time, I used to trade this, right? I'm like, oh my goodness, look, it's going sideways. We're getting a breakout. Here we go. And it would just completely go up, and it may go up a little bit more, right up through here. Oh my goodness. And then it would just completely do that on me. And I'm like, why the hell did that just not follow through? And then now I understand a concept called energy building and energy using. Is that an energy using phase is that the market's going up, guess what? It's using a lot of energy. It's going to come a point in time when it gets a pullback or a sideways movement, something like that, to start to build a lot more energy. If the market's been going up like it has here, we've been using a lot of energy through this whole time. It's going to come a point in time, just like me and the gym, right? Or even just, for example, yesterday. Yesterday, I took my kids, both my sons, and my sons are 12 and 15. And I took them down to the gym yesterday, and we did a whole cardio circuit. We did a leg circuit. We did a shoulders and chest, chest and arm circuit. And then we finished off with a kickboxing circuit, right? You know, punching, jab, right, hook, kick, side kick, left kick, front kick, stuff like that, right? More like a kickboxing circuit. Anyway, the purpose of me telling you that is just like my sons, right? Especially coming towards the end of that kickboxing circuit, I could tell my sons were like, oh, Dad, I'm so tired. I'm so tired, right? I need a rest. That's what the market does, right? This is my sons and me, like, Dad, yes. And even though they're pushing, they're probably doing something like this here, right? And we know this is like us in general, right? This is even me with my own trading and my own business, right? My own coaching business, is that I know, and if I don't, and I'm actually guilty as all hell when it comes to what I'm about to say here, because I just love what I do so much, that I know that if I don't pull back a little bit, right, not push it so much, maybe even pull back from the gym a little bit, pull back from working out, pull back from business, pull back from the market a little bit. Now, what I mean by pull back is like just step back for a couple of days, you know, maybe 2 or 3 days, and completely pull away from everything. Just allow your brain to defrag, your body to relax, your central nervous system to relax. Because as you know, trading the markets is probably one of the most tiring things you can do out there. Because mentally you get so fatigued, right? Because you're watching, you're looking, and your mind is just going crazy, right? So it can become one of the mentally challenges things you do out there. So this is why, guys, by looking at this level 3 here, the energy building phase, then comes a resting phase, right? And then if we don't get the resting phase, then guess what? And then if we keep pushing ourselves, like I have done in the past, like when it comes to like, you know, say for the gym, right? If I bring up this chart back here, if for some reason in the past I just want to push it and 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 push it, guess what? Guess what ends up happening? We have a big, strong vertical move, and then we have a big, strong crash as well too, right? We don't want that, right? We don't want that. We want to like, then, all right, I'm feeling that, right? So you may be the same, right? And this is always a hard thing too, isn't it? For you, for traders, right? For myself as well too. It's like for trading, guess what? It's like we want to keep going, right? Like me, I just love the markets. I've been trading the markets now for 19 years. Next year will be 20 years for me. And I just love it. I just love everything about the markets. I love the discovery. I love the patterns. I love looking at the charts. I just love it, right? It's just my thing. I just really love it. And the whole thing about that is, guess what? Even I have to pull myself back for a day or two, right? Just like, I don't know, maybe go lay on the beach for a day or something. You know what I mean? Like just to really pull back from everything and just lay your whole body defrag. I am so guilty of that. I'm guilty of not doing that when I know that I should be doing that. And it's probably a good reason why I'm actually bringing this up right now, because my body's telling me that I need to do that. Anyway, so the same with my sons with the kickboxing. Anyway, the whole purpose of me saying this, guys, is these are the different patterns that I'm always looking out for to take advantage of in these markets, because this is what happens, right? And this happens on an overall basis, right? So if I go back to the S&P 500 chart, if I'm looking at the daily charts, if I'm trying to get in on a trade on the daily chart itself, I mean, I'm looking to get in today, and I'm looking to hold it for a couple of days, maybe for a couple of weeks or more. Well, then guess what? I'm always trying to go for the time frame above, right? So I'm always looking for the big picture here. So say, for example, I'm going to go back to the example what I said before here, right? I'm going to go back to the hourly charts, and the hourly charts, guess what? Let's actually go to, here, right? I'll use this example here. This is the hourly chart of what? The Nasdaq, and we've been going up and up and up and up and up. We know that, right? So looking at the hourly chart for the Nasdaq, because we know where we're at right now, I'm gonna and my trading setups would be probably on the 5-minute charts, possibly even the 15-minute charts. So the 5-minute charts, 15-minute charts, possibly even down to 2-minute charts. But I'm always then looking at the 15-minute charts for the overall trend and where we're at, and also the 1-hour charts as well too. Right, and so as you can see, we've been going up for quite some time here, that we're probably likely to get some form of a pullback here soon, really soon. So that's looking at the higher time frame of where we're at. If we know where we're at right now, and we know that this is probably going to be some form of a false breakout, well, just because that's going to be a false breakout doesn't mean that can't be a short-term trade for you. Okay, now again, you need to understand what an actual trade looks like first, right? And that's what I teach in that trading course. You know, that link first thing in the description there. That's what I teach you. But the whole thing about that, right, is that if we do get a bit of a breakout here, if we know it's going to be a false breakout, one, we know it's probably not going to be a big move. But then also, secondly, even if we look down to, say, sometimes even our 1-minute charts, possibly even 2-minute charts, and squeeze this up, I know that if we eventually start to get something like this coming soon, we're probably going to get that. And then we're probably going to come back down again, right? And this is going to be a trade through here that's going to happen on a short-term basis. So if I go back to my daily charts now, my daily charts, guess what? I'm always looking at my weekly charts to see what's the true trend. And so if I actually look at what the trend is right here, even from looking at here, look at this here, right? So as we're coming down through here, look what was that? Just a pullback, right? It was just the pullback, low, higher, low. It just made another higher low before what? Away we go again, right? That's all this is doing right now. If we go look at the Dow Jones, had a bit of a brain fart just then, guys. It's like, what am I looking at? Hey, John, if you need some help, up here, see this thing up here? Just read that. E-mini Dow futures. Okay, cool. All right, I know what it is now. You know, sometimes when you're looking at the charts, you're like, brain fart. Anyway, so on the Dow Jones, there's really not much going on the Dow Jones, because there's just a lot of resistance above here, a lot of support. We're really not breaking out on a big picture here. If I squeeze my charts up though, the last time we did this sort of action, it probably tells me we're about to go for quite a big move here, right? Because you can see last time we did this, actually, it's interesting. Look at this here. The last time we went through this sort of non-committal of a direction, up or down, non-committal of a direction, up or down, guess what? It was showing us, right, that we're about to make a big move, right? And interesting, this is when the elections were happening, and this is when the elections are happening. Isn't that a quinky dink? All right, cool. So that's the Dow. Let's go look at the Russell as well too. Now, the Russell is one of those other things, right? The Russell is one of those other sort of markets out there that if we have a look, we can actually see, right? We can actually see that this chart here, that the dangerous thing about trading the Russell is what? Looking at the big picture here, is we actually, this low here, it actually broke this lower low through here. So we have this triple top, lower low. This could be a lower high here soon coming, right? We could get a bit of a move up, and then if it rolls over, if we do something like that, the Russell's actually, one's not like the other, right? Russell looking quite weak from here, so we actually could get a bit of a selling off period from there, from looking at the Russell. Make sense? So this is exactly like, again, this is the reason why I like to look at the weekly charts as well. So if I go back to, say, the ES as the example, if I look at the S&P 500, this is the weekly chart, remember? What was the weekly chart doing? The weekly chart was doing what? We have these lows, higher low, higher low. So as this market was coming down, what's it doing? It's just what? Creating another higher low before what? Away we go. See how that, but what was happening on the daily charts? The daily charts, what? We had a small little downward trend, right? But the big weekly charts were telling us that, oh, even though we're getting a pullback here, this could be short-lived before the buyers scoop it back up again, scoop it back up again, scoop it back up again. Makes sense? So by looking at that, but now flipping it on its head, we can actually see what? We can actually see, oh, if indeed we do get a rally through here and it does fail, this is the if scenarios, guys, right? The if scenarios, if it does and we start to do that, then we could be getting ready for quite a big move on the downside. Make sense, guys? So I hope you can see what I'm looking at there. And this is the one thing, guys, that for me personally, that's what I'm always looking for with the markets, right? I'm always just, firstly, I'm just trying to give myself the best chances of understanding what's happening right now and where are we and what's coming next, right? And this is where, like, again, and this is where, like if we go now to the overall, let's go look at gold here, for example, right? We look at gold. So what's gold been doing? Gold has what? It actually created there's a high, it made a higher high. Now we've got a bit of a pullback and now we're getting a breakup here. I do think we're probably likely to get something like this here before we get a breakup, but I do believe there's a really big move coming out of gold soon. And when it does, it is going to ricochet rabbit to the upside. Ricochet rabbit, right? This thing is building so much energy and once it's released, it's going to really make a big move to the upside. But looking at that level there is from a trading perspective, right? That's what this whole massive resistance up here, guess what? Oh, it's coming. But I don't think we're there yet, right? I don't think we're there yet, right? As I said before, like if I bring on my 52 moving average, right? You can see where my 52 moving average is. And you can see how it's just slightly coming up, right? So we just had this move up and then a move down. So I would expect to see possibly, we may get a bit more upside from here, but I expect something like this to happen, to wait for the moving average to really start to pick back up, to get a bit more sideways, a bit more resting, a bit more of a pullback before we start to see a really big move to the upside, right? Because generally what happens is we generally go through these really good sideways periods through here, right? You can see here, we generally go through these sideways periods, a real good pullback, to then take advantage of that from there. So that's what I'm looking at there from gold. If we go look at silver, silver's one of those things, I don't need the moving average because the moving average is telling me absolutely nothing through here. And it's really interesting to see what the silver market is doing. But the silver market, what that's doing is a couple of different things. If we take this off the screen, the first thing is that we can actually see that we're having a really sort of big triangle pattern through here. Silver is one of those markets, guys, when you squeeze it up. This is the daily charts. This is the weekly chart. Look at this here, right? It's like, what is this? This is like one big massive bull flag, right? One big massive bull flag that has been developing now for quite some time, for a long time. I wonder what comes, right? It's taken what? What's that, 2 years, basically, to develop? Right, remember guys, this is a weekly chart. So can you imagine what's going to happen when this thing finally breaks out and breaks up to the upside? It's going to absolutely just go nuts, just go crazy from here, right? We can actually see what's happening through here on the silver market. Let's go look at the GDX as well. The GDX, and the same thing for the GDX is from the other markets, is what are we looking at here, right? We're looking at the markets through here, and we're looking at how we can see here that we had a high, a lower high. See how this could just be another lower high before we actually break down. Now, this is going to be a telling week on what happens. Why? Because if we have a look at this level here, look what's happened through here, right? We've had this very strong down candle, and now we've had a rally up, okay? Here's a few things here, right? Roughly around this, you can see roughly around this resistance level here, right? You see that resistance level there? Right, roughly around that resistance level, you can see how the last few weeks, this actually found support, couldn't close below it, and then we had a down week, right? I'm getting advanced on you here now, guys, but so bear with me. Then we have a strong down week, right? And then now look what's happened. We've rallied back up to where we are here, to having this rejection here. And I would say I also like the 50% level to where it actually stops there. If indeed the market, if the GDX does not continue up from here, and we start to do that, and we start to roll over and we start to retrace back down like this here, and we trace back down to this level here on this weekly candle, then we're likely to see a really big move to the downside. So there we go, guys. Hope this helped you. If you do need some help, guys, then you can click on that second link in the description, go fill out the application form and a booking time for us to talk to apply for my private coaching. My private coaching is you and me every single day the market is open for at least an hour. I'm there showing you what I'm doing, and I'm coaching you every single day as well to help you move forward, to help you get better. And again, this is an intensive program. This is intensive coaching. This is not like, once a month and all that. No, this is every single day the market is open for all of 2024. So second link in the description there, guys. Click on that to go apply for it, and I'll speak to you real soon.